to another episode on the Womanspeakpodcast. I am your host, Joy Sylvester. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but action despite it. Here with us on the Womanspeakpodcast is a beautiful lady. She's talented, she's dedicated, she's a resilient lady. She has made a lot of positive impact in her society. She's an architect and a baker, popularly known as the Baker Tech. Join me as we welcome Mrs Kibapi. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, Joy.
It's an honor to be here, sharing your knowledge of this episode.
It's my pleasure.
So the topic today is do it afraid, and this phrase is very popular. A lot of people, when you hear this do it afraid, what does it now really mean? So we're going to discuss what doing it afraid really means, and how can we take that bold step regardless of fear. A lot of people in our society today, they are living a life of not living their potential. They are just working in the society. They have been great men, great women, allies in society, but the fear of taking the bold step. I know normally those fear come with those fear feeling, those timidity, or when you have that when you feel like your heart is in your chest and you can't literally breathe. And when those feelings come, a lot of people tend to run away. I think that's what differs us from the people making it in society. That despite the fear, despite those feelings that come with fear, they decide I will still take that bold step. So we're going to look at what fear really is, the forms fear come in. It's good that we know what the forms of what fear comes in, because when you know the forms fear comes in, you know how to tackle fear. That's what we're going to be looking at today. So then, what forms we're going to discuss what forms fear can come in.
Okay, so we're talking of what forms fear can come in. I think the first form of fear is fear of failure. You know, fear of failure holds us back from doing a lot of things. You know, what if I do this and I fail? So you haven't done it yet, but the thought of failing is something that holds you back, because you just imagine that if I try this and I fail, people will laugh at me. If I try this and fail, will I be able to face my enemies in quotes? You know, a lot of you people have imaginary enemies. So there's the fear of failure that holds people back. Another form of fear is fear of loss. I want to invest this money to do this thing. What if I put my money and I lose it in the course of doing that thing? What happens to my money? I'm going to be losing. I probably have saved the money over time for this purpose. So there's that fear of loss that, you know, it holds you back. You don't want to lose this money, or, you know, whatever resources you're putting into it. It could be money, it could be time. You know, I lost this time doing this. So it holds you back. It makes you to be afraid to even give it a shot. Another thing is fear of disappointment. I'm investing this energy. What if I get disappointed in the end? What if I get disappointed by my partners? What if I get disappointed by my customers, who I expect them to patronize this new business I want to put in? You know, what if I do it and they disappoint me? So those are some forms of fear that have hindered people from going all out to do certain things.
Like you said, the fear of failure. A lot of people who fail before they even start, because they feel, what if I fail? What if I don't make it? That also comes with self-doubt. You know, you feel like you're not good enough to make it. You're not good enough to do well. One of the fears I also feel like a lot of ladies, a lot of people go through is the fear of rejection. For example, people that want to contest for a particular position, they feel, what if people reject me? What if the society rejects me? Why should I take that election? Why should I apply for that job? What if they don't accept me? And those kind of fears are very rampant in our society. And the thing that really amazes me is that a lot of people don't even know that they are battling with this fear. They don't know they are faced facing this fear, and if you don't, what you don't know is what will kill you. Ignorance is what will kill you. So a lot of people are not aware that they are going through this kind of fear. And that's why we need to build ourselves. That's why we need to know, like what you said, the knowing of all these types of fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of loss, I think the fear of loss is actually the fear of uncertainty. A lot of people don't need what will hold in the future. If I take this business, what if I fail in the future? The fear of the unknown. And so they stay stagnant, don't move. And speaking about all this fear, I believe that for you to overcome this fear is courage. Having the courage, building courage to take that bold step, because all these fears they're going to come when you want to make that big decision. The fear of rejection will say a lot of things in your ear. What if you're not good enough? What if you will fail? The fear of failure will also be saying a lot of things in your ear. But you have to take that courage. And I believe that courage doesn't just come overnight. You have to build courage. So can you walk us through how the step-by-step ways of building courage in order to take that bold step?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that for you to solve a problem, you need to identify that there is a problem, right?
Yes.
So you need to acknowledge that you are scared of something before you can tackle that fear.
Yeah.
So the first step of building courage is acknowledging that you are scared or you are afraid or you have a fear of something. When you identify that problem, then instead of you now tagging it a problem, I think you should reframe it as a challenge. Reframe it as a challenge. That problem that you have identified, reframe it as a challenge. Then you face it. You know, you said earlier that some people fail even before they try. So now for you to build that courage, we said you should do it afraid. So identify that there's a problem, reframe that problem into a challenge, then face it. Do it. What's the worst that will happen? You know, and I always say that you have a tendency to fall when you're climbing. But what makes the difference is, do you stay on the ground or you get up and dust off? So many of us started from somewhere. We were down, right? We were down. We decided to attempt climbing. And in the course of climbing, we missed certain steps of the ladder. We fell down to the ground. But did we stay on the ground? No. Now that's what makes the difference. That's what helps you to build that courage, because you will not stay on the ground. When you fall, there is, acknowledge that there is a possibility of you failing. You can fail once, you can fail twice, you can even fail 3 times. But what's the difference? When you fail, do you remain there or you get up and you dust off? And another thing with failure is beautiful. Failure teaches you the road to success. Because when you fail the first time, you would go back and reevaluate. What made me fail this first time? Or if I was climbing a ladder, was it because I was too focused on looking up and I didn't pay attention to the next step I should take? Or is it because I was distracted? Instead of focusing on this thing I was doing, I allowed somebody passing in a jeep to help me, and I was not laughing and I got distracted and I missed my step on the ladder. So you see, failure teaches you the road to success. That's how you build your courage. You fail now, you sit down and reevaluate. What made me to fail the first time? So by the time you are coming back to do it a second time, you are coming from a place of understanding of failure. I failed because I didn't do this right. And then you give it a different approach. Another way of building courage is finding a support system. There are people that have gone ahead of you. Whether you like it or not, there are people that are better than you. I am a baker, I am an architect. There were architects before me. There were bakers before me. So if I want to do this thing, no man is an island. You can only build courage by tapping from the resources that God has placed around you. These resources are human resources. Acknowledge that there are people that are ahead of you in this thing you're going into. I want to start telling back. There were people that were there before me that have done the business. There are people that have locally sourced suppliers. There are people that have internationally sourced suppliers. Don't just come in blindfolded and you expect yourself to succeed. Tap from the grace that comes with the support system around you. Build mentors, build friends that will hold your hands. Even when you fall down, they will encourage you and you learn from their own experience. Now, there are certain things that you must not learn from only your experience. Don't wait to fail completely and say, I'm learning from my experience. A wise person will tap from the resources around them and learn from other people's failure. So that's how you build courage. In a nutshell, acknowledge that you have a problem, then face the problem, then give yourself grace to fail. Acknowledge that you can fail. But again, tap from people around you. Don't wait to make, very expensive mistakes first when it could have been avoided if you had asked questions. So gradually you build your self-confidence, your self-esteem, you build the courage in you.
It's one thing you said, failure. I feel like it's okay to fail. Because a lot of people, when they are too hard on themselves, when they fail, they beat themselves up and they don't carry themselves. Like you said, failure propels you to your success. I always say, whenever I fail, I always say that it's making your success story even more bigger. When you have that mind, and that also has to do with your mindset, building your mind. Courage also has, I think all this low self-esteem, all these fears, has to do with your mind. Devil first attacks with your mind, then it affects your whole life. So what are you taking in your mind? What are you reflecting on? What are you taking in? Speaking of support system, who are your support system? Not people that when you're doing wrong, you're falling and you're failing and they're see what this person is doing. People that will pick you up. Because we are the product of what we take into our systems, what we look into our system. So speaking of support systems now, we as women, we should be form a united front where we empower each other to take bold steps. For instance, for example, where a woman wants to be the president of Nigeria, and it's obvious we have not had a female president in Nigeria. Obviously, there will be a fear of, okay, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if my male counterparts are better than me? Or you feel like, okay, what if I get rejected by the community, I get rejected by the society? So how can we as women form that support system where we empower a lady or one of us is like, okay, I'm to take this decision, just take this bold step. How can we rally behind her and say, okay, we're going to support you, we're going to take this step with you, we're going to, because a lot of things, sorry to say, this society, we women, we are not as united. I know our coming generation, I'm seeing a lot of community development, community unity among us women, but how can we keep building on it? Because we're not yet there. But how can we keep building whereby we women can form a united front to empower each other in taking the whole step despite fear?
So as you said, there's the unfortunate saying that now woman they do woman in this our society. It's really sad because I go to social media and I see a woman being dragged, being ridiculed. And then you go to the comment section and what do you see? The top comments, the top derogatory comments are from fellow women. It's very heartbreaking. It's appalling to say the least, because why is it that now woman they do woman? But we thank God for platforms like this. Platforms like this, we organize talks like this occasionally. We have other platforms too that seek to build women, to boost confidence, to create a support system and an enabling environment for women to thrive. So when we continue with these platforms, we continue to reach out. I'm sure that very soon we women will see the need to do right by each other. To do right by each other and to avoid being marginalized or pressed down in the society. What a man can do, a woman can do better. Who said that a woman cannot head Nigeria? Who said a woman cannot be the governor? Who said a woman cannot be the president or whatever? A woman is, when you train a man, you train a man. But when you train a woman, you train an entire society. A woman embodies grace. A woman embodies community, family. She's conscious of carrying other people along. So I think platforms like this are good. We should keep on raising awareness so that when a woman comes out to do something, she gets full support. We give her the support that she needs, the backing she needs, the encouragement she needs. And very soon, women will take up key roles in the society. Who said a woman cannot be Senate president? Why is it always men out there? There are women that are exceptionally intelligent. They are built to carry others like their children. You can imagine entrusting a nation in the hand of a woman that has her motherly instincts. She's concerned about the entire well-being of the citizen. Have they eaten? Are they fine? Are they healthy? She is concerned, which is just a natural motherly instinct that comes with women. So I just feel that we should keep encouraging platforms like this for women to speak up, for women to support each other, and to create an enabling environment for women to thrive in different sectors in the society.
Speaking of enlightenment, I feel like the more we keep enlightening people, the more those customs whereby women are meant to sit back at home and not do anything, the woman is meant for the kitchen. I think the more you keep enlightening people, because over the years you see a lot of these talk shows, a lot of these seminars, and it's changing the mindset of people. We as women also have to do this in our homes. When we are training the children, we have to start eradicating that stereotype, that wrong mindset in our children, so that when our children even grow up, it comes to a circle whereby they too are changing. And very soon when we look back, we see that those mindset where women can't be in certain positions, women can't do certain things, will be eradicated. And then speaking about risks, this thing called risks, a lot of people, because of risks, they tend not to even take that step or make that life-changing decision for themselves or start that business, because they say, oh, there's a lot of risks. I know there are good risks and I know there are bad risks, but just the fear of that risk of what if the risks involved in scatter the business, or what if it will not go well. Those certain risks can make a person, can mar a person, or make a person not even go out there and make the most of their time. So how can we as women, right? How can we overcome these risks that comes with business? How can we even know when it's the right risk? I'm sure you're a very renowned baker. So how can we know when you want to, like, okay, I want to start this business, I want to start this job, I want to start, everything has to do with risks. So how do you know that, okay, this is the risk to take? Because as much as saying do it afraid, do it afraid, as much as saying do it afraid, do it afraid, you should also be, it's not everything that you just say, let's do it. You also have to use your thinking as well. When you're preparing you to do it afraid, I think saying do it afraid, it's the right thinking.
So I mentioned earlier that you need to leverage on people that have been there before you. It's only wise that if you're going to venture into something, you should be able to ask questions. I think it's only a fool that would just set out on a journey without asking questions. Oh, the road to so place, assuming I'm traveling now to Kanam local government, and I have never been to Kanam before in my entire life. The fact that I have never been to Kanam local government in my entire life doesn't mean that there aren't people that have been to Kanam. People that even travel to Kanam every day of their lives and go and come back to Jos. So now it's only foolish of me to just wake up and say, I'm going to Kanam. What direction am I headed? How do I know how bad the road is? How do I know how many hours approximately it should take me to get to Kanam? That's why you should leverage on people around you. You mentioned that I'm a baker. Yes, I'm a baker. That's what I do. I am ahead of some people and some people are ahead of me. If today I have this large cake project that somebody wants a very luxurious cake and it's so massive, I've never done something like it before, I'll not just wake up and just start asking them to pay this amount. Number one, I have to do my research. Oh, what does it entail to achieve this cake? It's a luxury cake, it's big, it's massive. Then, and apart from the ingredients that are going to go into the cake, there's the intellectual property part of it that I have to bring in my A game to achieve the design. Then apart from that, as human resource, I need to mobilize people to come and get this job done. I can't do it alone. So you see, it still brings us back to asking questions. People have been there before you. People have been there before me in the cake industry. People have been there before me as architects. There are amazing architects out there that you should be able to look up to. Oh, they want me to design a skyscraper. I have never designed a skyscraper before. Will I just wake up and start putting columns left, right, and center? Oh, because they say columns help to reinforce a building, I will just surround the whole building with columns and just keep going up. Surely there's something that goes underground. There's this wisdom that comes with wealth of experience and practice. The fact that beams and columns reinforce a building doesn't mean that I want to build a skyscraper. I will now start putting beams and columns left, right, and center and just be raising the building up. You will be shocked that it may even still collapse despite the beams and columns, because there's something that I would have tapped from more experienced people that they will tell you, oh, you don't even need so much columns, that's just wasteful. These columns can span so number of meters. These beams can span so number of, and you'll be shocked that you can even put a suspended, a cantilever. So you need to ask questions. There are people that have been there before you. Whatever you want to do, there are people that have been there before you, so they know the risk involved in doing that thing. So you should be able to leverage on the resources of people around you. No man is an island. For you to succeed, you cannot just be walking alone and say, no, I don't want them to know what I'm up to. And no, I don't want her to know that I'm doing this and doing that. You would potentially fail. There's risk in everything. Even if you want to sell, what do they call it? You want to sell granules. There's a risk of boiling the granules and people don't buy. And because it's boiled granules, if you don't have a way of preserving it, it will go bad, it will be sour. The next day you can't sell it, so you have lost already. Then there's even the aspect of, yes, I would refrigerate it, but it will still taste stale. There's a way that people know freshly boiled granules and granules that have slept over. It's the same thing with people boiling corn. They come and give you remnant corn. The sweetness from the day one of harvest is not the same as when it sleeps over. When it sleeps over, it begins to lose that natural sweetness. So you must ask questions. Oh, I want to start boiling corn. You ask questions. Oh, okay. So how do I start? Look at the environment. Are there so many people that like boiled corn around here? If the people around here don't like boiled corn as much as they like roasted corn, I probably should focus more on roasted corn. And if I have to boil, I should just boil a particular quantity that I know that I can sell it out comfortably. So basically, in a nutshell, risk is involved in everything. Everything in life has a risk attached to it. No matter how small or how large. Yeah, the risk may be larger or smaller, but there's risk for everything. But then again, you should be able to ask questions. People have been there before, so that you minimize the effects of those risks.
Knowledge is power, because when you have this knowledge, you can overcome this risk. Because when you, like what you say, all these things you're saying, asking questions, inquiring, everything, it has to do with knowledge. It has to do with knowledge. If you're not knowledgeable, you can't take up whatever you want to do. Like what you said, even when you, concerning baking, concerning architecture, if something comes up, how do you overcome it? How do you triumph through it? By knowledge, by having this knowledge. So then the next question is, speaking on this popular saying, the way you see life is the way you view life, the way life will be for you. The way you see things is how it comes for you. So now, how can we now reframe that seeing fear as a limitation and seeing as a propelling factor for growth, as a propelling factor for doing better. Because a lot of people they make fear a limiting factor, while others they too also go through the same fear, and you see them coming out beautifully well. So how can you reframe that mindset of seeing viewing fear and saying, okay, this is fear, but this fear is not my limitation. This fear is a propelling factor for my growth.
Exactly. So I mentioned earlier that you should be able to reframe your fear into challenges. I remember saying that. And as you said, life becomes for you how you view it. So while I decide to be positive about a situation, another person can be negative about it. And our attitude towards embracing that situation is what makes the difference. So some people handle fear with grace. I've seen this thing as a problem to me, but I'm not going to let it keep me down. I'm going to just face it and do it. And then I'll try to be cheerful about it. While another person will see the same situation and just be all grumpy and just stay down, like, can't you see? You keep wailing and whining about the whole situation. Now, the other person that has decided to face the fear squarely would be making better progress than you who has decided to stay in a corner and keep whining about it. So our attitude towards life affects the results that we get generally in whatever we are doing. So you need to be able to be positive, have a positive aura around you, face things positively. Oh, it's raining, this rain is going to affect our event. The rain did what, it did that. And the person might be like, oh, this rain, I just want the rain to come and finish. Yeah, I know that it will delay us a bit, but I'm sure that God has a reason for this rain to fall at this point. So you see, the attitude towards facing the rain is different. And that person is like, you're whining and complaining, what kind of rain is it? It's so annoying. And that person is like, oh, maybe God even made the rain to fall to fix something for us. Maybe He caused the rain to fall so that we will not experience a bigger challenge ahead. So already we are faced with the same rain. The same rainfall we are faced with it, but one person looks at it with a negative view, another person sees it as a positive situation. So you need to just build a positive aura around you. Yes, this is fear that is looking at me in the eye, but how do I view it? I should be positive around it. I should just face situations with grace. Yes, I'm scared of it, but the way I look at it matters too. And you record better progress when you are positive about situations.
You get better progress when you have a positive mindset. I don't believe that your battles won't be half won when you won the battles of your mind. Because when you have that mindset, okay, I'm going to win, 100%, 99%, you're going to win that thing as far as you have made up your mind. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so he is. So when you start seeing things in a positive way, you start attracting positive, and I believe in energies. When you have a positive energy, you attract positive things. When you have that negative energy, you also attract the negative things. And so a lot of people have to work on their mind first. When you work on your mind, then you work on taking that bold step, because the major war is the mind. The devil always attacks our mind, and I don't know why, but the mind is always a battleground for the devil. Yes, and like saying, you are a very renowned baker in Jos here, and I believe outside the state as well, and you're doing so well for yourself, making positive impact. I was at the International Women's Day, and that was not the first time I met you, and I saw the way you spoke. You get a lot of knowledge flowing out of you, and a lot of people were blessed, a lot of people were chill, especially for me. And so I'm sure that you're thinking, there were times when those fears come to you, those fears come in your ears, or when you start as a baker or being an architect, and I'm sure there were fears that came, the fear of failure, or the fear of rejection, whatever form it came in, when you triumphed. So what are the possible benefits you can get from taking the bold step. And if you could share your story with us, a lady watching this, and more ladies watching this, who can hear your story and say, because Mrs. Kibapi did this and her story, and she triumphed over this fear, and she is who she is now, I can do this as well.
Okay, so I like to say that I am a product of grace, because God shows mercy to whom He will. And that's not to say that you should not go out there and, put in your best and fight for what you believe in. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that this Kibapi seated here is a product of grace. I was doing the baking. I was pursuing the baking on the side while I was still studying architecture in University of Jos. And if you know how architecture works, you know that there are very few ladies that studied architecture, or that are even studying architecture. Usually the ratio of boys to girls is really wide. For me, I'm in a class of 77, we were just 11 girls. So you can do the maths of the ratio. And so it was not easy to push architecture and to push baking. They were like two opposites. And of course, the fear of most parents is, oh, this girl does not fail academically because she's pushing. Because what's the connection between architecture and baking? They were hardly connected. But you see, that's one thing about resilience. The fear is there, yes, but you have to be resilient enough to say that I tried it this time, I failed. It does not mean that I cannot do it again. So that resilience propels you to keep trying and trying until you triumph. So it was challenging to do architecture and do baking at the same time. The sleepless nights that come with architecture, you always have timelines for submission of drawing. You always have more drawings coming onto the drawings you already have on ground. Then there's me now trying to push a business on the side, coming back from lectures, trying to bake on the side while I'm on the drawing board to meet up with timelines. So that's like pretty much, like it's so much to handle at a time. Yeah, but when you're determined, when you're resilient, when you know what you truly want, you push it. There'll be challenges, there'll be things that will try to keep you down. There'll be things that will try to tell you, oh, it's time to stop. You said, don't you try, just give up at this time. But somehow, when you are determined and focused, you'll be able to achieve so much. I did that from 2014, and then till now. I started my business officially in 2017. So this is 2025 now. I've been in the business for 8 years, and in the course of the business, I've still been able to go back and do a master's in architecture still. So there's nothing that is really impossible. If you're determined to achieve whatever goal you have set out for yourself, you'll be able to do it. The fear will be there, but that's what we are telling you today. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Stay resilient. Stay positive. Gather the right support system. I always say that I've always had the right support system around me. My mother was one of my, she was and is still one of my strongest support systems. You said you saw me at the International Women's Day. I'm sure you saw my mother too. So it tells you a lot that she has put in so much. And now she raised 4 girls. We are 4 girls. I do not have a brother. And I know that you mentioned earlier that how we raise our children also matters a lot. Because there are some parents that raise women to believe that they should be caged in an angle. Then there's the category of my own kind of parents that believe that being a woman is not a limitation. So because of that, it's like two people coming from two different backgrounds. There's this woman on one hand that believes that no, a woman should not do this. You will come off as too forward, you will come off as too daring. Then there's another woman on this hand that thinks that there's nothing that will stop me from achieving this. So I just feel that even our parents have a role to play. Then we, the upcoming generation of mothers, it's also our responsibility to see that we raise fearless women that will stand out and challenge the status quo. The fact that we are used to it being done like this does not mean that it cannot be done in another way, which may probably even be a better way.
Yeah, so I believe from your story, the benefits you've gotten is achieving all that you are now. Because if you don't take that step, how will you know if you won't make it? That maybe you didn't take that step of being resilient, despite the, I know it was not going to be easy, despite the sleepless nights and everything. Another person on the other hand will like, okay, I'm not going to do it again, this stress is enough for me. But you pushing through, you choosing to keep taking that step has made you who you are today. I also believe that one of the benefits of achieving, one of the benefits of you taking that bold step is it builds your resilience. So that when another challenge is, like you said, you can turn your fears to challenges. When those challenges come at you, you know that you're very resilient because you have faced the other ones that have come before you. I'm sure that now any challenge that comes, you're better fit to handle these challenges. So your story has really inspired me, and I believe that it inspired a lot of people out there too as well, that despite everything, despite the hardship, despite the struggles, despite the stereotypes, despite the fears, despite the challenges, you can do it. So just take that step. Despite those feelings that come with you, as if you can't breathe, where you feel as if you're suffocating and you feel like I want to just let the ground just open, let me just enter inside. But despite those feelings, you can do it. So do it afraid. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Don't wait. Don't be stagnant. Because no matter even when you're stagnant, that fear won't go away. It's not going to go away. Until when you start taking that step. Because I remember the first time when I did like public speaking in school, I was very terrified, and I was like, God, how will I do it? Those feelings will be shaking, and all eyes are on you and everything. But when you just start talking, you just start speaking, you discover that that fear has gone. But the second time you do it, the fear will still come back again. But when you're doing it all
less than the first time.
When you taking those steps silence the fear. The fear hasn't completely gone, but it has silenced the fear. Even when I went to take this podcast, there was a lot of fear. What if I'm not going to be accepted? What if the rejection? What if I do abandon? I will not make it. What if I just start and I will fail? A lot of those fears, it will come. The devil is our enemy. He will not want to see you triumph. He will not want to see. And I really believe that the more you start hearing those fears, the more reason you should take that step, because there's something glorious. The devil will not attack something that is not there. So there's obviously something there. That's why the devil is coming to tell you things in your ears. I'm really grateful, Ma, for coming here and sharing your knowledge with us and taking time to speak to these ladies out there that they can do it afraid. And they are inspired by your story, and you have done it. You have paved the way. So other younger ladies out there too can see that you have done it and you are doing it. So they can also do it. Thank you so much for coming, Ma. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. So I believe that this episode has left something for you to think about. Check yourself. Do it afraid. The fear won't go away. Don't wait for the fear to say, okay, the fear will go away. The fear won't go away. Just do it afraid. Do it afraid. When you now take that step by step, you will look back and you see how much you have accomplished, how much you have gone far. But if you will not have this opportunity to do this, if you do not take that step, so take that step. Take that step. To every lady out there, take that step. It's a wrap for us today. I hope that you were blessed. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Bye.